So I'm down here at Keystone's 2025 sneak peek display, and I just found a new bullet floor plan that I don't think they know I'm recording and broadcasting. So enjoy some early access to a really fun, good floor plan over here. So this is what happens when they leave me alone in the space and say, you know what you're doing. Just go record stuff. Every now and then I stumble into something and don't tell anybody. Don't put this on the internet. I'm going to maintain plausible deniability that I didn't know this was a brand new prototype. So on that note, this thing is technically still cooking. This thing isn't completely finished cooking, but I think it's close enough that we can see what they're going for here. And I think it's kind of cool. It's a floor plan that is very similar to something like Winnebago first came out with it called a 2630. Cougar last year came out with it called a 25 MLE. It's a new take on a rear kitchen model, but it gives us a really nice private front, true queen walker out of some extra closet space, a very respectable bathroom area. But we have in this one ridiculous levels of countertop capacity. Awesome camp storage. Really good travel functionality in this floor plan. In a double Dinofa situation, you've got a theater seat and a hide-a-bed. So we have all that guest capacity. But what if you're looking for a desk space? What if you're looking for a daytime workspace? What if the two of you just want to sit at a table and have a bite to eat instead of eating off TV trays at a sofa? Well, this one gives you that ability too, with a hidden kind of slide open dinesk, basically, overlooking the campsite of the RV. The RV doesn't have massive windows overlooking the campsite. It's got a few of them here and there. Now, along with that, I don't think Bullet has gotten all the credit for some of the updates they've put through. Like, you can see the Goodyear tires. Did you know that they changed away from a leaf spring axle system to a torsion suspension package on these, like a Rockwood or a Flagstaff or a freaking Airstream? They're running the same kind of suspension here. Massive power awning. Basically, one of the best-in-class standard solar packages. Heated enclosed belly, power stabilizers, composite floor decking, all kinds of things going on in here. I just don't think there's so many cool features on Bullets that you can't overtly see. I really want to go through and peel this onion apart so you can see what's below the surface. And it has some downsides. Also, if you appreciate how we try to share the good with the bad, hit that subscribe button. Know that we'll shoot you straight. Let's get in there and see what this secret little new floor plan has to offer. So again, keep in mind a couple little things may be different. Like, I think that may not exactly be the correct sofa color that they're going to use in this. And there's a couple areas where they were trying to figure out what size do we want everything. They, they took things apart, put them back together, and there's a couple things, like, I don't even know if it's showing up on camera, but like the side of that big cabinet right there, it's just a lot of staple marks that normally you wouldn't overtly pick up. Ignoring that stuff, though, I think that we have a mature enough audience you can understand what we're dealing with here. Let's talk about what we do have. Or don't, rather, in the terms of no floor heat vents in the living area. Also, no carpet in the slide, so that does keep it easier to clean. The sidewall is 6.5 foot tall, which is industry conventional, but we've obviously, couldn't decide what I wanted to say. We obviously have a very aggressively barreled ceiling up here. Now, you have a single 15,000 BTU central air by default. This is going to be 50 amp though, and ready for a second air conditioner. I should mention, I don't, man, unless you have like a microscope for eyes, you're never going to notice this. The stickers on the side of the RV currently say Bullet Premium Travel Trailer. This will come in the CrossFire family. It's actually very easy to figure out where a Bullet belongs within their trio of divisions, because if it's one slide like this, it's a CrossFire. If it's multiple slides, then like two or more, it's going to be a Bullet Premium. And there's really not even a whole lot of difference between them in terms of actual equipment. But this will be a CrossFire. This also has a crazy awesome amount of like kitchen storage and countertop prep space. What I'm not seeing now that I think about it, where do we have power outlets? I'm going to take the camera into some funny angles here, man, to figure out where everything is. Okay, so we have an outlet over here under the TV, and then nothing until we get over here by the stove. It feels to me like it needs at least one more set of outlets in the middle, and I think that would be minimally sufficient, but I feel like right now it's slightly deficient in terms of total outlet space. I don't know how this is reading on camera. I'm going to call this this cabinet color like a olive gray. It's got just a slight green tinge to it. And I think that that helps kind of bridge the gap between some of the like the brown tone families in the flooring as compared to like just a stark gray. Because I don't know that gray and brown really go together most of the time, but I sure see manufacturers trying it. I don't know. That's just me. But holy great googly moogly, look at all of the countertop space that you have in this. And the thing is, we haven't even popped that dinesk open. What I figured I'd do though is I would plop a squat over here at the theater seat and give you a view at that smart TV entertainment center. I have a couple of questions. Like, I'm going to show all of this open for you in a minute. They decided to kind of try to build it with a fireplace down here. What if instead of having the outside TV hutch and the fireplace, what if they just extended the kitchen counter all the way over, added a couple, well, it already includes chairs, and then just left the space under it open for like an actual desk space or a place to put like a pet pad or kennel, a little pet palace, if you will. I'd kind of be on board with that myself. Ooh, I don't know how I missed this on the other bullets I went through today. This actually does have a privacy shade in the door. Ooh, okay. I'm down with OPP. I appreciate that. They also had just a little pocket of space here. So they filled the wall with something like a little boot bench and shoe garage, but a place to hang a jacket or a dog leash or something by the door, a place to keep shoes from cluttering everything up. I'm okay with that. Like, personally, that works for me. I am totally a-okay oakley dokley with it. Apparently I'm on very much a Ned Flanders kick today. I don't know exactly what my deal is. Working our way around over here, I really like how they do their theater seating setup here because it gives us the choice between either cuddle compliance or population control. Basically, you can have a big giant sofa or, split recliners, which is also very nice. It's also kind of cool how they put storage in the armrests of this. Actually, the middle section, I don't display it on camera here, but the middle section, the bottom of that can slide open for storage too. So there literally is no wasted dead air space going on with that theater recliner at any given point. And as you can see, even a big dude like me can actually legitimately kind of, take a midday snooze there. Now, my wife probably wouldn't appreciate it if I commandeered her leg rest like that, but there we are. You may also notice that they have updated their entire window treatment system. Instead of the cheap things with the leftover fabric with the machine gun staples holding everything together, they just went to a straight all hardwood, but they even framed out the bottom with kind of the same thing that you're seeing up here in the slide fascia, this sort of simulated natural wood kind of thing. So it's not bad cuts. That's the intent. It's supposed to look a little bit log cabiny, I suppose, right there. They did the same thing under all the window treatment. So you actually have a real window sill, if you were. Now, in the bedroom, you'll see that they put struts on the overhead cabinets. I don't see them here, so I don't know if that's just a prototype symptom or if that is exactly the intention. What I like about this, though, is the location of that hide-to-bed sleeper sofa. You can still just sneak past that thing. Like if you have a guest for the weekend or something like that. Or I've met couples who never camp with guests, but one of them has a snoring sleep apnea problem, and they really want to kind of split that space up. Sometimes it's nice to be able to have that opportunity. But to show you how all this works, I actually wanted to jump in front of the camera to demonstrate the dinesk function on this RV. So how does this thing work? Kind of like a Murphy bed demo. I thought I'd do it in real time so you got to actually see all the motions and the interactions. And if extra bonus footage like this is handy, I don't know, leave me a little note that says, thanks, nerd, and let's get started here. And there's really nothing to it. This thing just drops out. There's this little bar that comes out of here. You want to kind of get a hand on both sides to pull it out evenly. Otherwise, it kind of walks this way like Steven Tyler. You flip this thing open, and you're done, son. Now, it comes with a pair of these folding chairs. I just busted one out for a quick little demonstration here so that you could see an actual size demo. I mean, I'm a decent chicken nugget American dad bod size dude. I think that, I fit at this thing really, really well. So if you actually want to sit here and do some real like laptop warrior work, you could. Now, on that note, this is extremely deep. And I'm not using fisheye wide angle mode. This is flat camera lens mode right now. I have plenty of room here. If I want to have a keyboard and like a couple monitors, I could even potentially use the smart TV up here as a monitor, depending on what you're using. But one of the other thoughts that I had is if I'm just sitting here having a sandwich or anything like that, there's still potential that somebody over here could sit on the other side of me, still be able to watch TV, while maybe I'm sitting here watching TV, eating, working, whatever. And even though it'd be a little bit tight quarters, I think that that could work for you. But if it's mostly just one or two of you, that conflict and crowd space, I think, becomes a far, far less of an issue. Now, putting it away, basically, this is all hardwood. I just realized that is all wood. That's not some weird particle board kind of stuff. There's little switches in here. You just kind of push in, and then just sort of give it the old the Rocky Horror Picture Show pelvic thrust.
Phrasing.
It'll drive you insane.
Just a jump to the left.
So as you may have noticed, it can really occupy a lot of the space. Like when the whole dinesk thing and the chairs are put away, it feels big and open in here. When you open that stuff up, it fills the room up very, very quickly. But thankfully, again, it is something that is pretty easy to take out and put away. Though one of the only downsides is that you really do have to kind of put the chairs under the front bed or something like that to keep them kind of stowed away. Now, if you're looking at this from the theater seat, yeah, it faces straight on. But if you're over here at the height of bed, well, good news, Carol Baskin, because that TV can twist and shout and pivot about so that it can face any of the seating in the living room, basically, which is really, really nice. Now, going through all this, it is all pocket-screwed lumber core cabinetry. They threw shelving in the overhead cabinets to just really truly maximize the total amount of storage space that you have in here. And overall, I like what they did. They left you space for waste baskets. They left you plenty of counter space, good drawer capacity. This kitchen, for me, works. And as we'll see, when we do get to the portion of the video where we close it up for road mode, you'll get to see that the everything back here, generally, well, no, not everything. Okay. Actually, instead of me stumbling over my words, let's go ahead and just take the opportunity in the middle of the video here to check out the road mode, then we'll work our way up front. What I was trying to say is I think your camp critical stuff will remain accessible and functional. This is a AccuSlide cable system, by the way. There's different cable systems, so in case you're curious which one's which. So the microwave and the stove are basically, you know, lost in translation when the slide closes, but the refrigerator, the majority of your kitchen, your storage, your counter space, that remains functional to a very high degree. So in that way, you know, I think it still has pretty good travel access. 100% no, but good, I think certainly yes. And just to finish the showcase with the slide close while we work our way up front here to the bathroom. The front end of this thing, the bedroom and bathroom, the nap and crap accessibility in transit, that is absolutely not a concern whatsoever. It knocks that out of the park. Porcelain foot flush stool, which also very easy, like very comfortable. Plenty of room there. I had absolutely no issues with that. The open face pockets down low here, I'm going to give them a pass on because those can be handy just for like rolls of toilet paper. Nothing is going to fall out and break or cause a problem. The upper storage they enclosed, and again, it's not really super deep, as Rick James would say, but you're like, why didn't they make it deeper? Because you have a bonus closet in the bedroom, and we'll get to that in a second. Now, with a 6.5-foot ceiling, a lot of times my head has to be in the skylight of the showers, but I noticed, even when I leaned over toward the sidewall, I didn't have that problem here, and I'm not exactly sure what kind of Wiccan voodoo magic they pulled off to accomplish that, but I'm also not exactly mad at it. They also, I think that's a new bathroom faucet. I think it's slightly taller than what they used to use, just to kind of give you a little more space. Now, if memory serves correct, you still maintain a no-floor heat duct system in the bathroom, but I think there actually is one in the floor when we get up to the bedroom. If I eyeball that, I'll kind of verbally confirm for you. In the meantime here, let's move our way forward. Well, notice how they also fully frame out every door. And I do mean fully frame out. If you get in here and you hammer fist that like a UFC fighter, it's probably going to sting a little bit. That's going to not feel amazing for you. You might notice how like the kitchen upper cabinets and the bedroom, your upper cabinets go to that lighter color. I think it just helps the whole space look a little more open and airy. This is a true queen bed. It's a 60 by 80 true queen. I don't know that I'm going to call it a walk around queen necessarily though. Because of where they put the water heater over here and a big bonus drawer that sticks out, it really does eat up a lot of space around the bed. But notice how wide open this is. if you're a side sleeper or if you're claustrophobic or something like that, or you have a little standing fan or you want to set a book down, you've got all kinds of good spaces to do that. Both sides of the bed also have household and USB plugs. I kind of kicked my light on a little bit so you might be able to see those a little better. It's kind of dark back in that corner. I don't know what it's looking like on camera. A couple things though. This is going to be 50 amp standard. So what you're seeing here, like a single 15,000 BTU air by default, you could get a second air conditioner installed up in that vent right there. Or one of the other cool things, if you wanted to just get like, I don't know, some kind of bigger XL vent fan, you could absolutely slap one of those and get some good cross breeze airflow going in there. Cracking open all the bedroom storage, showing you around. I love how, again, they put the struts on the overhead cabinets to make that whole exchange and interaction easy. The bed is aluminum framed and also very easy lift. Overall, bedroom storage, I think, is great. There's not a super massive, but a bonus closet across from the bed. It probably wouldn't be really hard for somebody to add some shelves into that, but they don't really offer that from the factory. So you're going to want to make sure you kind of, craft person DIY that correctly. Another thing here, because they don't have a center middle sliding door system on this floor plan, you've got, I think, a better location for a TV setup here. Bedroom doesn't have dimmer lighting, but, oh, wait a minute. That is not doing what I thought it did. Oh, hold on. I kind of forgot that they were doing this. You may have noticed in the kitchen, some of the cabinetry was backlit on the inside. Well, they're doing the same thing here. You might notice, though, it's a really aggressively frosted glass window. Like, you can't see inside the cabinet. So if you have all kinds of clutter and disarray, you might be able to see a little bit of a shadow, but you won't see the actual stuff inside there. You have the same function going on in the kitchen where if you want to turn the backlighting off and you're like, I don't want any of that, I want it just like this, you can absolutely do that too. One of the downsides to working way ahead of the curve and getting you early access footage of models like this, though, is that at the time that I'm recording this RV has not actually even gone across the scales. It hasn't gone through the normal weights and measure process. They're still figuring it out. That's why we saw so many extra like staple marks, because like sometimes they're taking cabinets apart and rebuilding them inside the RV till they get it basically looking how they want. So that means that I don't actually know the total length. I don't actually know how much this weighs. Going off of what I know from experience and Keystone policies, the model number begins with 27, which means that the total maximum length of this cannot be over 32 feet. They have a policy there related to those numbers. So I'm going to guess, eyeballing this, it's 31 feet and change. It's somewhere in that range. It's probably just north of the 30-foot mark. And that has benefits. It gives them the extra space because like the way that they accomplished their living room extended the RV a little bit. And it means that they can have just a massive, look at this power outing. It is huge on this sucker. But it also means it's a little longer than it otherwise would be. So, is it half-ton towable becomes the question. Well, it depends. It's going to depend on the specific capacities of your half-ton, and it's going to depend on where you're towing it. You know, if you have a half-ton that's a little borderline, and you want to go through the mountains, I'm not going to call it half-ton towable. If you have a hefty half-ton, and you're only taking it back and forth across flatland local territory, 25, 30 minutes away, you're probably going to be fine. So it's really going to depend. What won't change, though, are things like the nicer slam latches. You saw that clasping magnet holdback so it doesn't fall and hit you on the head. Things like they're running a different kind of chassis. This is an NXG frame as compared to the traditional Lippert I-beam frame. You can actually see one of the huck bolts up there right there, the little silver kind of ends. And power stabilizers are factory standard on these, as is a heated enclosed underbelly. Now, what that means is not this is a magical Four Seasons camper. I don't really believe, quote, Four Seasons is really even a thing in the RV industry, despite all the BS marketing and stickers they slap on the sides of these things. What I'm going to say is this is a solid extended season package. If you're camping when the snowflakes are not flying, this RV will be okay. If that sounds like your idea of camping, this will be fine. We have Goodyear Endurance radials down here, 87 miles an hour rated. So I don't think I phrased that right, but I think you still know what I meant. So you can't put them on the DeLorean with Doc and Marty. You can't go back in time. And you can't see where the axles are tied together with a leaf spring, because a year or two ago they moved away from it and they went to a torsion suspension package, which is one of the better riding and handling kind of systems out there. It provides better cornering, better control and handling around corners, and just a smoother ride in general. They did that. People are like, why'd they go away from their spread axle design? Because they went to something that is actually, it's a little more expensive, but actually rides even better. What do you think about this? Under that giant mega buffet dinesk space, they just had an open pocket. Now, some brands have tried to bury a camp kitchen under there. You'll notice that they put one of those kind of in the back corner of this RV, and they just left you an outdoor entertainment situation going on. I think it's kind of cool. Now, the trick with an RV this long is, unless they went with 2 awnings and put an awning split right in the middle of your campsite, they had to leave something uncovered. And in this case, they left the little mini camp kitchen station uncovered. I don't know. Is that the right answer? Is that the wrong answer? Should they have slid the awning backwards a little bit to see if they could try to encompass the camp kitchen? Or do you prefer it the way that it is? I don't even know if sliding the awning backwards is possible. I'm just asking questions at this point. They give us both a receiver hitch on the back and a bumper, which is actually really handy for giving you a place to like store your sewer tubes and all that kind of stuff here. I never thought about checking that until just now, giving you a look at the hitch, obviously. The spare tire is not a Goodyear. So I guess, I don't know, just kind of log that in the memory banks for whatever it's worth. I have a suspicion, and I'm going to eyeball this as we move around, that this has 2 sewer outlets. And I hope you appreciate how I take the time even to go over here onto the driver's side of the RV, or as it's technically known, the poop side of the camper. That's a very high-level technical term. Yes, this is. Okay, so in the back, just under that slide, you have your kitchen gray tank outlet. As we move forward here and we get to where the bathroom is located, you can see the bathroom black and gray tank outlet up in that location right there. So it is a dual. In case you're kind of curious, you're going to see this whole line of stickers that say hold on it. Remember, this is an early prototype. This is not a completed product. It is on the way to being a completed product. So there's some things that they're still working on that maybe it's doesn't have or is missing, or they're substituting and they're trying to figure it out. So don't have a heart attack about that. It's going to get there. I think overall, though, we're pretty close. I do also appreciate a little enclosed docking center here. And if you take a look over on the left, there's some really good hardware that they're including with this. So that big blue box, that is a Victron charge controller. It's an MPPT charge controller, in case you're not familiar with what that means. It's a more efficient charging system. So not only does this RV have a 220 watt panel up on the roof by default, which is a little bit bigger than most of the industry has, anywhere from like 185, 190 to 200. It's already 10% larger than that. The charge controller is generally about 10% more efficient at converting the radiation from the sun into lightning in a bottle, basically, if we describe it that way. That's pretty accurate, actually. So you're getting about a 20 to 21% more efficient, effective system at putting more lightning inside the bottle up on the tongue of this. And to keep the lightning in the bottle, you've also got a better battery disconnect system called a Giggy Box. And it's so stupid. I always enjoy doing the little Giggy Box jingle. What that does is it eliminates 100% of parasitic load off of the batteries, so that while the RV's in storage or something, nothing is pulling off of that thing. And the solar panel can still bypass that and keep the battery charged and tended up. And I'm curious. Oh, that is bright. That was stupid. Why did I stare directly at that? Okay. All right, I'm curious what you think about these new line lights, whatever you want to call it, on the front side of this thing right here. I think that if I was park camping and somebody left those on pointing at my RV, I'd not love it, but they do look cool, don't they? They look very cool. I'm curious what you think about that. Now, I mentioned when this video began, there's a few other builders that make a floor plan kind of like this. So I'm going to leave you some links to those if you want to check out the videos on those floor plans and see maybe how somebody else executes this and maybe like one better than the other. Let me know which one you'd go with and why. And you'll also find a link there to double check pricing and availability on these. Now, remember, I'm giving you kind of secret early access footage of this, whether I'm supposed to or not. I'm going to apologize later rather than ask permission the first time on this one. I don't normally do that, but I like this camper and I want to get the footage out there. When this first comes out, we may not have pricing on our website. It may not even be in production and shipping yet. But if you contact our local folks at the stores, they can get you those figures. So when you're ready, we're ready. We don't do hidden fees. We do all the other handy things, though. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.